Welcome back to the All Things Considered Disc Golf Podcast, where we consider all things disc golf. I'm your host, Jacob, joined as always by Cameron. Cameron, what are we going to talk about?
So we have some few major signings to talk about today. Finally, I'm excited to talk about those. The Tour Down Under is starting in New Zealand, and then we're going to kind of talk about a new YouTube series that's going on that I'm excited about. I hope you're excited about. So let's go ahead and get into it. I think we're just going to jump right in, honestly, with the signings. Discraft is making mad moves in the offseason.
For sure.
First, Ezra, we'll go kind of by earliest, I guess. Ezra Robinson, finally, I'm sure a lot of people saw already, signed with Discraft like early this week. Is that what it was?
January 2nd, I think.
Yeah, huge for him. Super exciting for him because, I mean, we sponsored Ezra in the past for people that don't know, like, was it 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
This is something that I feel like he rightfully deserves, something that he's definitely earned with this place. So kind of huge to see that.
I mean, he was 8th in Pro Tour points this year.
Yeah, so I'm super happy for him there. I wish, we joke about this all the time, Ezra, if you watch this, we wish you were still here, buddy. One thing I will say though, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, or like with Dad a couple days ago, but the Peach Pirate logo, what are your thoughts? I've seen people love it. I've seen people hate it on the internet. I just want to know where you stand.
Yeah, I think that I think it fits his brand. I don't necessarily think that it's like something that I saw and I'm like, I really want to buy that. But I do think it fits Ezra really, really well. And I think that people that follow him will definitely absorb into that.
Well, honestly, two things too with that. One, because it's Discraft and it's on a buzz. I think those things like sold out within just a couple days.
Yeah. No, and that's something that I think, well, we'll let you talk about the other signees and then I just have some thoughts on like Discraft,
the state of disc golf,
their marketing strategies, because I think that it's A tier. Like it's just sublime. So let's talk about some of the other signings.
Yeah, so the next big signing, Kale LaVisca, Discraft's icon team.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? He got the zone too.
Well, I mean,
it was commemorative zone. Sure. What do you think?
I mean, I think Kale's a good pick. It's also like a return type situation.
I did not know that until watching like their promo video.
I didn't know that either until in a Prodigy Facebook group, everyone was alleging that Kale like left with bad blood because he didn't get the CEO job, and he was making a post that was clarifying that's not true. And it was a picture of him and Will, and he had a Discraft jersey on from like 2012.
Yeah, I did not know he was with Discraft for like 6 or 7 years or something.
Yeah,
and then obviously Prodigy for that long stint. But yeah, kind of interesting. It's cool. It makes it a little easier. I feel like as a disc golf fan or even like a Prodigy fan, like he went back to Discraft because it was like technically the home before he made the home in Prodigy. So it's tough to be like. I mean, you can totally be upset, but it's like, it's not like it was like shock factor. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. Maybe for people that were like us that didn't know.
You're right.
But
yeah, at first, I think I called you about it, and it was like, dude, Kale left. And then all that stuff came out. He's been Prodigy or was with Discraft for 6 or 7 years. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Next, probably, I don't know. You think this is the biggest one? Ken Climo really has his own brand. It's with Discraft, but it's Ken Climo Disc Golf. So I don't know if it's going to be technically separate or not, but what do you think? What kind of Ken Climo discs are you looking for?
Yeah, here's the deal. I don't think it's going to be separate. It's going to be Discraft discs. But I think they're just going to be, it's going to be like the Paul Macbeth line. It's going to have his own spin, and I will buy them. Like, I will buy those.
Well, especially because you're a big Rock 3 guy, and surely...
Well, Ken wasn't even like a Rock 3 guy. That was more of a Paul Macbeth thing, but like... Rocks, T-Birds, all those, like, yeah, Ken threw those all over the place. So I will try them for sure. And that's what I think Discraft is so good at, is they, number one, I think a lot of the times, Cameron even mentions this a little bit, whenever people come into the store, discs really are the same. Like, flight numbers in particular are very misleading to new players.
Sure.
Because a disc, like a rock and I think a matrix from MVP have like super similar flight numbers, but obviously feel and look very different depending on the plastic. So I think what Discraft does really well, number one, is they make discs that are aesthetic. Like the ESP Swirl, Jawbreaker Flex, it's beautiful plastic. And I think that's why people really like lean into it initially, is because it's pretty. But then it also feels great and flies great as well. Because I mean, when you look at it, the Buzz is like the number one selling disc, I believe, like across most retailers.
I bet it just like making it even like a bigger statement here. I bet if you took the top 5 selling disc golf discs of all time, it probably is Innova and Discraft. But I bet Discraft has the Buzz and the Zone on that list somewhere.
Oh, I'm certain. So then when you think about that, as a company, Discraft also, you start to think to yourself, like, how are they getting all these people? Because I remember thinking back to when they got like Chris Dickerson. I was like, wow, that's a big signing.
I actually just forgot about him until you said his name right now.
And so then I was like, that's a big signing. They're probably going to like stop adding people at this point. But then maybe the next year is when they went out and signed AB. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I guess, yeah, they're just like adding people on. When does it stop? And then you see Ezra Robinson, and then you see Kale LaVisca and Ken Climo. And it's just like, okay, they're clearly doing something right. And what I think that they did, 2 things. Number one, they didn't overspend during the COVID boom. Obviously, you hear about a $10 million contract for Paul McBeth. And he's an enigma because he moves more plastic than any other player has ever, besides maybe Simon Lizotte. And you know you're going to get your money back on that investment. But they didn't really overextend themselves. But if they did, they maybe went and paid Chris Dickerson a decent amount of money, but they tossed his name on a Buzz that they know is going to sell. People will buy a Buzz. It doesn't matter if it has Chris Dickerson's name or not. People are going to buy it. And so you've got a reputable product. And then not only that, but they are so good at marketing their players and making them have an individual brand outside of Discraft. Like if you want a Brodie Smith signature disc, you have to go to brodiesmith.com. And obviously it's all Discraft molds, but all of Brodie's shirts, sweatshirts, hats, discs, everybody's got their own website. Everybody's got their own logo. And they do that so well. And I think that's why they've made themselves more desirable to players, because that's what's going to make players money, is putting their names on discs that will sell. Like Ezra's been good, but no offense to Prodigy, he's been putting his name on PA3s for 3 years. And people like PA3s, don't get me wrong, but he put his name on a Buzz with a Peach Pirate logo, and they sold out in a day. And we still have Ezra Robinson PA3s from 2 years ago. So it's just a matter of you're putting your name on popular, sellable plastic. And I think that's what's going to really excel Discraft above the other manufacturers going into the future.
Yeah, it is interesting because when you think, like, if you go through their whole lineup, it's almost as if they're like low-key monopolizing disc golf right now. Obviously, there's still like a ton of heavy hitters that aren't with Discraft, but it's certainly starting to like almost move that way, where Innova at like towards the beginning was kind of like the guy, you know?
Sure.
I feel like we're almost seeing like power sway. And obviously like people watching, you can probably, who've been around the game longer, can maybe like almost, I mean, you probably have a different take on it, but like maybe tell me if I'm wrong or if you kind of agree. But yeah, that's definitely where I see it going. And I think it's because Discraft is always changing. They obviously have their same like stock ESP, Z,
innovative.
The titanium mold is even just kind of got redone, but like the stuff they're doing with the buzzsaw or like those flame scorches, you see those? That's like no one is doing things quite like that. And I get it's technically like over mold, but it's different. You know what I mean? It's in my opinion, it's cooler, but whether it makes the disc do different things, I have no idea. But I enjoy it. Let's see. So that was all Discraft, I think. Isaac Robinson. This is probably the biggest signing of the offseason, I think. Sure. I will say I was a bit shocked.
Yeah.
I heard DGA like at the very beginning, and then like the last few days before he announced, everyone like it was like totally flipped a switch and was like Latitude 64, no question. And I didn't believe that because, and for those that don't know, we sponsored Jake Hebenheimer a couple years ago. He got let go by Latitude 64 because they said that they weren't doing any U.S. players. The same way Kevin Kiefer kind of got the boot this year, I believe. Whether he left on his own or they told him to, I have no idea. But the same like principle. I was under the impression that it was like just a European only team, which is totally cool. But so then to see Isaac Robinson sign with him, I was like, oh, that's actually like really crazy. You know what I mean?
Sure. And I think maybe that could have been what they wanted. But I think when you think about it, obviously the scene in Europe is really electric and fans there flock to events, which is awesome to see. But the European population compared to the U.S. population in terms of market share, there's just more people stateside.
Sure.
So when you think about Latitude 64, if they're like, we're going to be only a European player sponsor base, then they're saying, okay, we're going to limit 70% of the market share. And so maybe after some evaluating, they're like, well, maybe we shouldn't do that. But now you've also got this whole idea of like world championships, because like Kristen and
I was
Isaac
just
are
about
there
to
now
say,
together. So that's going to be a cool branding thing that they get to kind of take on. I would totally throw a Isaac Robinson Cenis or an Isaac Robinson Claymore. I'd give that a rip.
So that was his first kind of release that they did with his logo, and everything was they were like black and white orbit rides.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they look really fire. But here's my issue. Actually, this is a total side note, not even talking point. My one beef with like Trilogy in general is the price of discs. Their stock discs, totally normal. But any of their Tour Series stuff is like $27, $28, or like Ricky's Generals are $32 like minimum. And it's like, what? I feel like you're losing so much market there because I know the discs can't cost that much to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even with inflation, like that's an atrocious amount of money. Whenever other companies are still, I mean, you still see Innova discs for $18.99. Like a Star Roadrunner is probably $18.99. And if that's the case, your, Ice Chameleon whatever disc that you're making for Pandemic Discs, it doesn't need to be $29.
Yeah, it's because I love the Arrive. I have that one in my bag.
Yeah.
Like I've been actively looking to get more. So when I saw it was Arrive, I was like, oh, dude, I'll totally snag one of those up. The disc plus shipping was like $35.
Yeah,
and I was like, I can't
pass.
I can't justify that. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
And
you
so
can buy 2 regular discs from any other company.
Right. So anyways, that was a side tangent. But back to Isaac and Kristen and the World Championship stuff. If they don't have Jonathan, who does their YouTube stuff, I don't know.
Okay.
I guess he's Swedish. He's the guy with the full sleeves.
Yeah. No,
really funny dude. I actually like watching a lot of their videos. But if they don't have him following Isaac and Kristen the entire season, they're doing it wrong. I think that because he is funny, so him plus 2 in their own rights, back-to-back world champ disc golfers, the content side of things is like it's infinite almost. You do practice rounds, you do challenge videos, you do little goofy vlogs with them. Latitude 64 blows out.
That doesn't seem like Kristen's cup of tea, but
I mean, I think she's just low key, but so is Isaac. But I watched Isaac's promo video that they did with Latitude.
It was very funny.
You finally, he's very calm on the course. Uh-huh. You don't really see many big reactions, but to see him be himself, like on that side, was like cool to see. So I guess I would like to see that more from both of them, especially because they are, in this day and age, are like, I don't know, icons is a big word. Kristen Tatar is definitely there. I mean, Isaac is probably there, to be honest. Right. So, I mean, all that to say, yeah, the content side of things, if you get them out in front of the people, showing them true selves, and then them watching coverage and them just dominating, I think you sell as many $27, $28 discs as you want, honestly. Yeah. But that's just my opinion. Also, shouts to Isaac. I forgot to mention this when I first brought it up. $175,000 for 3 years, plus incentive
per year.
That's per year.
Okay.
Total value $525K
Yeah, that's pretty good.
in 3 years.
That's a bag.
That has to feel awesome. No.
No, I mean, I'm sure that feels great.
Also, I'm curious who, I don't know, I don't want to say leaked like it's secret because obviously it's not. I'm looking at it, but it's like how come Isaac Robinson's contract gets let out and nobody else does? You know what I mean?
It's one of those where I think it does actually benefit the manufacturer sometimes to like let that information be known. But yeah, I don't know.
It's interesting. Shout out to Isaac though. He's a really good dude.
Yeah.
Run into him a couple
He
times.
deserves it.
I believe that's all for player signings as far as like the major side goes. We're still kind of waiting for Big Germ.
Yeah.
See what he's going to do.
Sleeper pick. Yeah, you've heard it here first because they keep adding on more people you would never expect. But Big Germ's going to be the next one on the Icon team.
I wouldn't hate that at all, actually.
I throw a Big Germ buzz.
Well, it's crazy, actually. I mean, I guess, I don't know. This is life. You can do whatever you want. But with how well his Thunderbirds and Bosses sold, I can't imagine anything of his selling more than that.
It would just have to be so lucrative, like whatever he's going to do.
It's got to be, I bet he starts working for the Pro Tour, honestly.
Maybe.
Hey, like, because Jonas is owned by the Pro Tour, so I bet he goes like full time there and it's just a commentator.
Yeah.
And hit the events that he wants to hit, I guess, the same way kind of Nate Sexton does right now. You ready to move on?
I'm ready to move on.
All right, we're going to be talking about the Tour Down Under in New Zealand. This is really cool, mostly because it's our first look at professional disc golf this year. You know what I mean? And there's several notable names. Like you have Ezra Robinson, you have Chandler Fry, Robert Burridge is down there, Gossage is down there, Luke Humphreys is down there. You got a lot of people down there. I believe Holland Hanley's down there. There's some other FPO. Emily Weatherman's out there. She just signed with Innova. Juliana Corver's out there.
There's quite a few.
Yeah, there's a lot of big names. Definitely reasons to watch for sure. I guess we'll start with the FPO side first. We have Sophia Donachie out of the BC. The name is familiar, but I don't believe I've ever seen her play. She took it down.
Let's go.
Through the 3-rounder. +1 through all three, which I watched the first couple rounds of coverage. Apparently, it was windy as all get out there.
Sure.
So
I did see a disgusting spit out from Brandon Sides. Is it Braden or
Braden?
Braden. Braden Sides. Yeah, I mean, blistering headwind. Hit the putt probably in like the upper third, like not high, but upper third portion of the chains. Just literally spit right back at him. Hovered there for a second and then just fell right back out.
Yeah, the wind was definitely a factor out there. Juliana Corver, third place finish here with a double on 18. So she finished 2 strokes back with a double on 18.
Dang.
So
she takes on to a playoff.
She takes a part of there. We're forcing a playoff.
Dang.
That's kind of a bummer. Have you ever watched Juliana Corver play?
I have not.
She's actually she's been playing for a long time, but it's very smooth and very fun to watch. Let's see. FPO, MPO now. Oh, look at that. Robert Burridge actually took it down in the final round. Looks like it was a playoff actually with Ezra.
Let's go.
Which is crazy now that I think about it. So was this a 3-rounder? The second round, Ezra was like, I think he shot like a couple over or something like that. Had a really, 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 and granted, it's the wind, you know.
Ezra did?
Yeah, let me actually go
Robert Burridge shot 2 over. So he must have had a killer lead.
Yeah, Ezra only shot 1 down that second round, but like he had so many opportunities to score and just couldn't get it done. So I feel like at least for him, first tournament, new manufacturer, second place. You know,
in a 3-round tournament when 8 under is winning, that must have been pretty redonkulous conditions.
I think it was super windy, and then I think from what I saw, it was pretty tight fairways, but I don't know if that was the wind making it seem smaller than
Can
it
we just give a
is.
quick shout out to our boy Chandler Fry to the top 5 finish? Love to see that out of him.
You do. You don't love to see the triple bogey on 18, though. Oh, par. Man, a lot of fireworks here. Par on 18, he wins.
No, par on 18, he would have tied for second.
No, he's at 6.
Oh, my eyes are so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Chandler,
That's a great look, though.
We still love you, Chandler.
Great look. You just cleaned it up a tad. Here's the real story. And Luke Humphries, you watch this. I apologize for bringing this up. I believe he was the leader. He was leader after round 1, tied lead after round 2. Round 3, he shot, where did he just go? He shot 13 over.
That's tough.
To finish tied 8th.
That is brutal.
Yeah, that with a 10 on 18, which is.
Do we know what hole 18 was? Was it like an island?
It's an 800-foot par 5. So I imagine there's some OB around. I think it might be like kind of peninsula, if I'm remembering it right.
Maybe like a European Open hole 16 from a couple years ago type of situation.
Yeah, I think it's probably something similar to that. But regardless, I mean, you got to give the wind, and I think it was raining at one point, the factor there. So, but again, very promising for Luke to know that he has it.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, he's the last guy left, on Prodigy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's obviously still some FPL players and some smaller guys, but he's holding strong. Got to give shouts to him. But ultimately, I guess, shout out Robert Burge for the win.
Robert Burge. He's not going to be repping Lone Star, though.
No, he's not. He was actually throwing a lot of dynamic stuff. Like, he was throwing generals and enforcers off the tee majority.
Interesting.
At least that's what Nate Perkins was telling me on the coverage.
Thanks, Nate.
But yeah, so shouts to Robert Burge. I don't know. Maybe he goes on sponsored this year. I don't know.
We'll keep you guys up to date on all the Tour Down Under information.
Yeah, this was week 1 of 5 weeks, I believe.
It's so fun.
Dude, I was thinking about this the other day. So when they announced that they have like featured athletes, is that just like someone being like, yeah, I'm going to go down there? Or do they like pay that person to come down and play in these tournaments?
Who knows? I'm hard pressed to think that they paid them.
I am too, but it's like.
What were the payouts? Can you see that?
No, you can't see those actually. It's not on there or PDGA.
Interesting.
I don't know, but I would be interested to know. Not that I'm good enough to do that, but like somehow swing the invite, like, dude, come to New Zealand and play disc golf for a month. I'd be like, all right, I could get last place in every single tournament. I'd probably be just as happy. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that's week 1. Week 2, obviously, I believe is next week. I forget where it's at. In New Zealand, it's somewhere. I don't know. New Zealand's not very big.
New Zealand's not very big.
Yeah. So, let's see. I believe this is kind of the last thing we have to talk about. It's a new YouTube series starting up. So we wanted to kind of bring this up now because I believe this will be our last week for a couple weeks in here. It'll be Zoom or whatever else podcast. Still coming on Mondays. We'll just have a different background, essentially. Yeah. So if you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or even YouTube here, new series coming where I'm going to play the number 1 ranked course in all 50 states over the course of 2025. Super excited about that. It was something because disc golf, I don't want to limit it and say there's only so many things you can do, but you see a lot of duplicate videos, on YouTube. And this was something I've been thinking about for so long that would, 1, personally just be cool to do.
Yeah.
But 2, I have not seen, as far as the series go, I've seen people play the number 1 course in Missouri.
We've seen people play Eagles Crossing.
Right. We've seen like singular videos, but we're going to do all 50 states, the number 1 course, and I'm going to rank them each time I play them. I'm going to rank them. I have some criteria, which after the first one, you'll see all of those. But I'll rank all top 50 courses in my top 50, So it's going to be a lot of fun, honestly. I'm going to be gone quite a bit.
Yeah, how are you breaking it up?
So I have 4 different trips planned. And then those, depending on how many courses I can hit, will kind of change the duration. So like this first time, I will be gone for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The second, 4 trips. I think the second one I'll be gone for, probably a month. Big swing there. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Basically breaking up the U.S. into 4 different quadrants and taking 4 different trips.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
And eventually get down to Alaska and Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii and Alaska. I don't know. They can't really. Hawaii can be anytime because the weather's going to be great. Just whatever.
Yeah, can't do Alaska in the winter.
No, I can't do Alaska around this time. So Alaska will probably be sometime in the summer. I'm hoping, but yeah, definitely gonna check the weather out there. But yeah, I believe that's everything. We're gonna move on to the Price is Wrong. Are you ready for that one?
I'm so ready. All right, so for the Price is Wrong, for those of you that don't know, I've got an item that I find from Facebook that is disc golf related, and I have Cameron play The Price is Right. Last week we had a DIY disc golf cart, and this week we actually are going from a Facebook group. The group is the Innova Disc Golf Collectors page.
Perfect. So these are going to be really expensive.
Potentially. And so I have got a disc here. It is a 2019 Sexton Glow Firebird with a gold stamp.
Ooh.
It's clear around the outer rim. That is the full description.
Okay. Do I get a picture?
Yeah, I'll give you a picture.
Okay, perfect.
I'm asking for the bin. So the buy it now price.
I see.
Not what it was bid for. What the guy listed as the buy it now price. This is the image.
All right. Quick sec.
And obviously with the rules of Price is Right, he's trying to be beneath the actual price.
See, it's tough because when was it? Can you answer? Can I ask questions?
Oh, yeah, sure.
When was the first year they ran Firebirds? Like, is this an old run?
Sexton one?
Yeah.
Way before that.
2015, was it?
No, I think they started in like 2013 or 14.
Oh, really? Oh, jeez. So this is fairly new. 2019.
5 years ago.
Yeah. Holy cow. It was technically 6 years ago now because we're in 2025.
Sure. But the 2025 Firebirds haven't come out.
That's okay. You got me on that one. Jeez, I don't know. I feel like when people frame it up like that, and we'll try to put a picture up. I don't know the legalities of all that. If we can
just picture,
I know, but I don't know if we really could. So we'll try to put that up for you. I'm gonna say $80 flat. That's bin. Way high or way low?
You were way high.
Oh, yeah. I assumed when you go like, not that it's a professional photo or anything, but he went through the trouble of getting the lighting, getting the stand.
Yeah. So if that's any clarity, oh no, I didn't have this one. The one that I had that I lost in the water a couple of weeks ago. I had a 2020 Firebird for a long time, and then tragically lost it to the water. This is a 2019 Firebird, pretty good condition. He was asking $35.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
I know we just talked about not spending $27 or whatever. Like that's a lot to spend on a disc, but to the right collector,
to the right guy, I think anybody would buy this for $35.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not a hypocrite, but I have spent more than $30 on multiple discs.
The most I've ever spent was $40, but it was a good deal for me because the disc value is over $80 now. So
sure. What was it?
It was the Simon Lizotte Skyrider PD2.
Oh.
That was the first expensive disc I ever bought.
I'm trying to honestly don't even remember buying. Oh, it was actually your Firebird that you're not allowed to throw. Well, 2017,
sure. Yeah, 2017.
Yeah, that's the most expensive.
We won't reveal how much he spent on that.
No, that was. What was that? Christmas birthday? Yeah. That's justifiable.
Cameron knows I'm a Firebird guy.
Yeah. Question of the week, and I think we're out of here.
All right, I will read the question for you because I wrote it. It's a little bit small, but the question is: if you could have any pros putting and any pros driving, who would you want to have? So essentially, you're making your disc golfer Mr. Potato Head. You can only pick a given pro's putting or driving. So you couldn't say, I want Ricky Wysocki's putting and driving, but you could say, I want Isaac Robinson's putting and Ricky's driving. And that would be your
is that your answer or is that?
No.
Okay.
I think if I'm going to go objectively, I would want Andrew Marweed's putting. And I think I would probably want Gannon's driving.
Sure.
Is that a bad choice?
I mean, he won 8 events, so I would definitely say that's not a bad choice at all. That's interesting. I kind of forget Andrew Marweed's a big putter
It's
guy.
like a number 1 or 2 putter like in the last 6 years.
And that's what like I guess if I was going to choose based on percentages, my putter would be Paul Ulibarri because I believe he was number 1.
I think he was number 1 in circle 1 putting.
Who's good circle 2?
Andrew Murray. He does the cookie thing.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with Yuli.
Yeah, I think that's a good
I mean, that's just like, that's a safe bet, you know, so get into circle 1. But who's going to get me into circle 1 now? I feel like you got to go AB. Everyone wants that.
Or Simon. Simon would have been fun too.
Simon would have been fun. I think probably knowing that I will never throw as far as Anthony Barella, I'll choose him.
There you go. All right, let us know what your ideal disc golf professional would be down in the comments. Before we go, just wanted to say a quick thank you for the feedback we got on episode 1. Please keep the feedback coming. We do this because we're hoping that you guys are enjoying it. We enjoy it a lot, and so we hope you do as well. If you like it, please subscribe to follow along. Leave some comments on what your preferred disc golf Frankenstein of sorts would be. And we are excited to get to continue doing this with you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.